Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's day 2 of my Valentine's Day special. In case you missed it, I did my 5 favorite romantic Valentine's Day movies yesterday, and today I'm doing my 5 favorite black romantic Valentine's movies today because, you know, celebrating of Black History Month and Valentine's Day. I decided to do a mashup. Is that what it's called when you mix some things together? A mashup? Anyway, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends because it really helps the channel. And if I ever become a YouTube millionaire, I'll remember you. So please like and subscribe and share with your friends. All right, number 5. Okay, so in case you guys haven't seen this one, it's a classic. It came out a long time ago, not a long time ago, but a while ago. It's called Brown Sugar, and it stars all-star cast, and I cannot remember everybody's names, so I'm just gonna remember the names that I can remember. All right, so we have Queen Latifah, Mos Def, and oh my god, I want to say her name. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I gotta look at my phone for this one because I cannot pronounce this woman's name. She's in a lot of movies, and I really feel bad because every single time I do movies that she's in, I always mispronounce this woman's name. Okay, so I'm looking at my phone because I'm trying to pronounce it phonetically. Cheyenne Lathan. If she ever sees any of my reviews, she's gonna be so mad because I always seem to have her movies that she does, and I always mispronounce her name. Okay. Anyway, anyway, let me get to the film because yeah. Anyway, so this one, Brown Sugar, is a really good film, but like I said, I'm sorry for the name mispronunciations. All right, so Brown Sugar is about 2 lifelong friends, Sydney and Drew. They've been friends since they've been kids. And as they've gotten older, you know, they've dated other people and, you know, they come together and they become friends again. Anyway, so long story short, Sydney and Drew both are, you know, prospective relationships with different people. But everybody sees Sydney and Drew and thinks that they should be together. And basically, everybody believes that they are a couple except for those 2, except for them. They are in denial about how they feel about each other, to the point where they're in relationships with other people. So I'm not going to ruin the film for you. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's on YouTube. It's called Brown Sugar, and it stars my girl Queen Latifah, and I'm not gonna say her name again. So yeah, you got the picture. So watch it. It's called Brown Sugar. So my number 4 pick is in Love and Basketball. You may have heard of this film. It came out in I think the early 2000s. It stars Omar Epps, and oh my god, here we go again. It's the same girl from the last film. Brown Sugar, Cheyenne. Oh my god, what is her name? Lathan? Is that how you pronounce it? Oh my god, I feel bad. Like, if this woman ever sees any of my reviews, I just totally butcher her name every single time. I think I've done reviews with her that she's been in movies with before, and every single time I see her name, I just totally butcher it. I'm gonna actually, for the future, I'm gonna actually watch a video where she's in it and where they're announcing her name so I could actually say her name right, so I won't butcher it in the future, but that's a note to self. Anyway, in Love and Basketball, it's similar to Brown Sugar, but in this one, it's a little bit different because these characters both know they're in love with each other, obviously. They both are competitive basketball players, and they both want to, you know, go as high as their basketball career will let them go. Only thing is that them progressing in their basketball career means that their relationship could be possibly torn apart. Love this film. It's a classic romantic film of, you know, fighting for your love and doing what you have to do to keep your love. So if you haven't seen it, it's called Love and Basketball. It stars Omar Epps, and I'm not going to say her name again to butcher it further. Next time I do see her in another movie, I will really try my best to pronounce her name correctly. So that is my number 4 pick. Love and Basketball. In Love and Basketball. See it if you haven't seen it. You can watch it on YouTube right now. My number 3 pick is The Diaries of a Mad Black Woman. I chose this film because I absolutely love Shamar Moore, and I just said, you know what, he just had a baby and it just reminded me of him, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Shamar Moore, and if he wasn't married and if he was interested in me, I would definitely slip in my number, and I'm gonna probably leave my number below in case you do see this Shamar Moore, call me, you know. Anyway, so in The Diaries of the Mad Black Woman, we see Helen. She is, which is Kimberly Lisa's character. A name they could pronounce, yay! Anyway, we see Helen. She's in a really bad marriage. She's in a very bad marriage with a really bad guy. And he treats her really badly, and, you know, he basically takes everything from her. So as karma works out, as sometimes it does, you know, sometimes poetic justice with karma, what happens is that her husband, or her current husband anyway, he falls on bad times and something happens to him and he ends up in a wheelchair. Because she's a wonderful woman, she ends up still nursing him back to health, even though he was horrible to her. But at the same time, she realizes that she's falling in love with a wonderful person, which she's kind of reluctant to do because she's still married. And at the same time, she's confused that she could be falling in love with somebody that's so wonderful and treats her well. And that's where the Shamar Moore character comes in. His name is Orlando, and he's a really good guy. And he shows her what it is to be truly loved by somebody that actually appreciates her, which is wonderful because, you know, I mean, she's a good woman and she deserves a good guy. The sad thing is, well, not the sad thing is, well, the karma in this situation is that her actual husband, the guy that she's married to that was miserable, treated her bad, cheated on her, abused her, he realizes too late that he has a good woman. And unfortunately, she chooses Omar, which is the better guy. And yeah, well, that's Diaries of the Mad Black Woman. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely see it. It's one of Tyler Perry's first films that came out. That was a big hit. So you got to see that for sure. I think I said Omar. I meant to say Orlando. Anyway, you definitely got to watch it. It's called The Diaries of a Mad Black Woman. All right. For my number 2 choice, I chose The Best Man. If you haven't seen this film, you can watch it on YouTube right now. I believe you could rent it or buy it on YouTube. YouTube is really great like that because they have all these movies that you could rent and buy now, so you could definitely watch it there. I chose The Best Man because I think everybody could relate to The Best Man because so many people, of course, have weddings and funerals. Unfortunately, the 2 ways that people usually meet up when you haven't seen people in a really long time is at a wedding and a funeral, unfortunately. But at least this occasion is supposed to be a happy occasion, a wedding. So in The Best Man, Taye Diggs' character is the best man. His friend has asked him to be the best man at his wedding. And of course, it should be a good, happy occasion. And of course, you know, it's a good time to meet up with, you know, old friends that you haven't seen in many years and talk with them and enjoy a good time. However, it gets a little bit, I guess a little bit, the best word to say is in chows when everybody finds out that he's written a book. Of course, he wrote a book and it shouldn't be no big deal, but the book he writes is about them, or he says it's not about them, it's loosely about them, he says. And of course, there's a chows that goes along with this because this book is about all these friends and their lives, you know, and so there's a lot of secrets that come out as a result of this book. So definitely it makes things a little bit more interesting for the, you know, the weekend up to the wedding. Anyway, if you haven't seen this film, I recommend you watch it. It's on YouTube. Like I said, you can watch it. It's called The Best Man. It stars Taye Diggs, Nia Long, and my girl that's in that film, those other films that I've been talking about. She's also in this as well. She's not a big character in this, but she's in there too. And I'm not going to say her name because, you know, I have nothing against the woman, but I just butcher her name all the time. But let me try again. Sanaya Latham. I think I'm getting better. Hey. Anyway. You gotta watch this. It's called The Best Man. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on YouTube. Anyway, that's my number 2 pick. Stay tuned for the number 1 pick. Ooh, what will that be? All right, for my number 1 pick, I have chosen How Stella's Got Her Groove Back. If you haven't seen this film, again, you can always watch it on one of the streaming platforms. This film stars Angela Bassett, Whoopi Goldberg, and Taye Diggs. And if you haven't seen this, it's a great film to watch. So, Angela Bassett plays Stella. She's a 40-something workaholic who is really successful at work, but not successful in love. So one of her best friends, Delia, decides to, hey, say, yo, girl, listen, we need a vacation. You need a vacation. Let's go away. So they decide to go to Jamaica and they have a great time. And while she's in Jamaica, Stella meets a really young, attractive young man. So at first she's thinking, let me have some fun, let me have a good time with him. But I guess the relationship progresses and she decides that, you know, it's a little bit more serious than she anticipated. So she's a little bit petrified because, hey, you know, it's a young guy and, you know, it's always a double standard, isn't it? You know, if it's like a man and he brings a 20-year-old woman back, oh yeah, he's a stud, good, cool, whatever. But if it's a woman, she's a cougar. So I guess she's afraid and, you know, rightly so because these are the stereotypes that unfortunately us as women have to deal with. So she's afraid to kind of introduce her new young love to everybody. And of course, when she does sort of introduce him and tell her friends, she does kind of get that that backlash of, okay, you're a cougar, you know, what are you doing with this young guy kind of thing. So it is a great film. I loved it. And I thought, you know, let me give Angela Bassett, you know, some dues, because she's an amazing actress and she does everything. And I love her. You know, she did What's Love Got to Do With It. She's done a lot of movies, and she just recently, I think, won an Emmy recently again. And so she's been out there recently, and I said, hey, let me, you know, give Angela Bassett some love. And hey, I love her movies and she's a good actress. And I really like this film because I think it's a coming of age film where I think ultimately at the end of the day, she decides, I don't want to ruin the film for you. She decides to go with what she feels and forget what everybody else's opinions are. So anyway, that's it for me for now, guys. Those are my 5 favorite black films for Valentine's Day. I hope you like my list. If you agree with me, comment below and tell me if you do like it. If you thought I should have talked about other films, sure, tell me that as well, because you know what, I'm always open to suggestions and ideas, but these are the ones that I kind of liked and I thought that were really good. So anyway, you guys know the drill. If you like what you've seen, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. And happy Valentine's Day to you, and to you. And anybody else that's watching. So, bye.